All right, welcome back to Under 450k. This channel is where I analyze suburbs and their investment potential and their potential growth as well. For those of you who have been watching me for a while, welcome back. For the new viewers, well, this is what I do. We don't gatekeep suburbs here. We tell you what buyers agents are looking at. We tell you what my thoughts and opinions are. Because I believe the real estate industry needs a little bit of transparency. And part of that transparency is I want to delve into this suburb or this regional location, which is Albury and Wodonga, and more focused on Albury and less on Wodonga. I want to focus on Albury mostly in this video. And the reason I actually wanted to delve into Albury is because a viewer of mine emailed me about the suburb Lavington, and I looked into Lavington, and then I went into a spiral and decided to look at every other suburb in and around Albury and Wodonga. And for those of you who've been property investors for a while, will have known that Albury has grown significantly over the past 3 years. In fact, it grew quite a bit, almost up to 50% in some of these suburbs over the past 3 years during COVID. And you may be wondering, why would I be talking about this suburb then? Hasn't it grown too much, or is it going to keep growing, or is it stagnant? But I'll answer that at the end of the video. And the reason for that is I think people generally forget the fundamental basics of what property investing is, and everyone is searching for the next Townsville, the next Perth. That kind of goes against what property investing should be. But let's get into it. And for frame of reference, I'm looking at Albury, and the specific suburbs within Albury I'm looking at is West Albury. I think this has quite some potential left and some growth in it. North Albury has grown significantly, and I'll show you, but I still think it has awesome potential in the future. And Turunga is one suburb where it has very specific pockets which are good and some that are not so good. I mean, if you can already have a keen eye, you can already tell where the bad pockets are. God, I hate these cookie cutter homes. It's absolutely disgusting. This is what our future kids are going to have to live in, by the way. It's shocking, quite frankly. But you know what? I'm not a developer. Each to their own. Everyone makes their money somehow. So the first things first is I want to point out the big red flag of what Albury is as a location. Now, when you go to SQM Research, which is a completely free resource out there, you will actually see that it has grown significantly. Now, unfortunately, with SQM Research, they do by postcode, which means that North Albury and most of East Albury fall under the same postcode. And when you look at it, it has grown significantly. It has grown almost 40%, 33% over the past 3 odd years, and it's also have another around 14% growth. And you can see that the sort of average price is around the 700k mark now. But that's where the trick really lies. Because you're not trying to buy homes at 700,000, you're trying to buy homes around 450. And you'd be like, where can I buy that? And that's where we go into. And I want to go into sort of the data metrics of North Albury and West Albury. And I've sort of brought this up already here. So that's North Albury. Yep. So in North Albury, the number one thing we look at is days on market. Now, we can see sort of this is sort of trending up on here. On DSR, it's trending down a little bit. As you can see, this only goes up to May, but on DSR it goes a bit further, and it is trending down a little bit. Stock on market is still incredibly low, around 1.1%, and the gross yield is quite high, around 5%. Now, it's not high as a regional Queensland or a Perth, but it is still high for New South Wales regional towns. And vendor discount is incredibly low, and vacancy rate is quite low, and proportion of renters is around 30%. Now, on DSR, it's a bit higher, close to 40%, which means it's a bit more of an investor-ish suburb, but it's okay because the vacancy rate is extremely low. In West Albury, which is a bit more family-friendly area, a bit more owner-occupier heavy. Again, you can see sort of the days on market trending up, but it's actually trending down on DSR data, and stock on market is also very, very low. And gross rental yields around 4%, which is a bit low because the suburb median's a bit higher. Now, after talking with property agents in and around the area of North Albury and West Albury, I can confirm that the market is slowing down, that there is more stock coming onto the market, which means there'll be more chances to buy high quality properties in the area. Now, In North Albury, you will generally find properties around the 450K mark, around 500K, and all the way up to 600K. There are good opportunities to buy good quality investment properties here on large pieces of land. Now, the median price is a bit lower on North Albury, but that means you can find a good deal close to $450,000. If you look a bit more onto the West Albury side, you can find them up to about 490 and even around $500,000 to $600,000. But you want to stick closer to the bottom end so you can maximize the capital growth. And also in the eyes of the bank evaluation and the valuation, they tend to go a bit higher, even though you purchased it a bit lower. Right? You're always trying to buy at the lower end of the suburb medium price. That's the trick. So that sort of gives you the roundabout of the growth that it's already had, the potential of the market. Like I said, it's slowing down and there's more stock coming on the market. So you'd be asking me, why are you even showing us a suburb? Because it goes to the fundamentals of what property investing is. And it is to invest in well diversified, strong economy regional towns. And Albury Wodonga is exactly that. All right, Picky is one of those sites. It's pretty good, what I found, and the employment diversity is quite high. You've got them from healthcare, retail, trade, education, and training, and it is very, very strong as a regional town and as economy. And I think over a long period of time, it will actually have good growth, despite what this website says. Um, and that's the trick to it. And when you look at the occupation, it is well diversified in terms of community, technicians trade, professional workers is quite strong, around 15%. Laborers is good, 13%. And that's a very, very strong economy. One of the ways to tell if a suburb is still affordable is by simply looking at how much they're paying for a mortgage. When 80% of owners in that town are paying less than 30% of their household income, that is an affordable regional town. That is why places like Townsville and Gladstone are absolutely booming because it's affordable. That's why Perth boomed because it was affordable and not so much as much anymore, but it was affordable and it's still relatively affordable. And so this is what it gives me the indication is that there is still life left, there is still growth left in this. And I also want to put this into perspective as if you're concerned about the existing growth. And I've mentioned this before because Bendigo and areas in Bendigo have also had significant growth in the past during COVID. And people are actually going in and investing there. Places like California Gully, over a 7-year average, it's averaged over 8%. So for those of you who don't know, property over a 30-year lifespan averages about 7% growth every year. And people want to see this number low because they think that somehow magically that will cause it to keep growing. But that's not the case. As long as a region is affordable for that place's household income, that has potential for the house price to grow and people want to move there. Like even if you look at places like Kangaroo Flat, which is also in Bendigo, you can see Golden Square, which is Bendigo as well. You can see that it's still around 7%, but people are investing there because there is life and potential there. The only difference is that the 3-year percent average is a bit different. That's why it's more appealing to go to Victoria and Bendigo to invest, and that's what I talked about in my other video. So that gives you a sum up of those concepts, and I hope that makes sense to you. The other reason why I think Albury is such a strong regional town, and I still think it's worth considering despite its growth in the past, is because of its major project that it goes through. It's in the current construction phase of a Melrose Park Pavilion, which is $3.5 million. It's in planning phases. It has a park upgrade, which is $2.2 million. It's advertising a tender for the Savas Park Sports Pavilion, which is almost $2.8 million. Again, tender advertised doesn't mean it's going ahead. It's literally in a planning phase, and everyone knows construction always takes ages to go ahead. So take that as you will. But you can see that this area and the council is continuously improving, and it has a quite healthy pipeline of what's going on. And if you look at the planning, it's got quite a few, including the Murray River Experience, the Albury Entertainment Centre Convention Wing. So you can already feel and you can already tell The economy is good. There is a good pipeline of construction happening, a good pipeline of infrastructure occurring. And those are all positive signs of a good, strong regional town. I might even actually think this has a better economy than Bendigo. But we'll have to see in terms of projects, of course. So I hope that gives you advice around North Albury as a region. So if you're considering that, right? If you're not happy to go into a hot market like Townsville and Gladstone, and you're thinking about Victoria and you're not happy with Victoria's state and economy because Victoria still has the largest amount of debt of any state, and that means anything can happen. It has land tax, it has slightly lower yields as well. Then you may want to consider New South Wales as an option, right? It's not perfect by any means, because North Albury is not perfect by any means, but the crux of property investing is by investing into strong regional towns that are affordable, that will not be affordable in the future. And I think North Albury is one of those places. I think West Albury is one of those places. And I think Turunga also has life in it. And you know what? I'm going to go into even more detail for you guys to help you out here, right? When you go to North Albury, and I've talked to property agents on the ground in this area and sales agents in this area. And if you want to buy in this area, I suggest you avoid sort of the public housing areas, which include the Logan Road, anywhere from Logan Road to Ryan Road. So Ryan, Burrows, and Logan Road, heavy public housing. Even in West Albury, the public housing is anywhere from Kurrajong, Banksia Street, this section here. If you follow my mouse, that section here, public housing, not a very friendly area. Lavington, by the way, I wouldn't suggest going into Lavington. Lavington has grown heaps more than North Albury and West Albury has, but it's also known as Stabbington, so take that as you will. It doesn't mean you don't invest there, because Armadale and Perth is a very high crime area. And then when you go to Turunga, right, basic property investing, just look at the area, zoom in hard, and you can see nice big blocks of land, big houses. Some even have pools. Don't buy a pool house, by the way. It's just pain headache. You have all of this beautiful development, and then you have this shocker, right? This is all developers coming in and constructing ugly homes on very tiny pieces of land, right? And they're going to sell these for like 600,000, 700,000. And these are the homes you don't want to buy. If you want to buy in Turunga, buy in this pocket here. Buy further away from whatever this is. Because if they can build here, all of this, all of this, all of this has a potential of becoming new houses. And that's why North Albury is a bit more appealing, because there's no way you can build any more housing in there. And even West Albury, you're going to have to clear out all these trees to build. So if you purchase around here, or on the lower end, then you have potential. Be careful, there's a hospital there, so a bit more noise pollution. So that covers all of that in terms of the Albury. That covers most of the Albury region. I will do Wodonga in a separate video, because I think that should be covered in its own video, because again, that's Victoria, right? But if you're looking to invest or looking for diversification, you still should consider North Albury as a region to invest in. Not Albury specifically, but Albury in general. So West Albury, North Albury, and Turunga. Like I said, people have invested this 3 years ago. People are saying you shouldn't invest there now. I'm going against the grain here a little bit. I also know a significant amount of buyers agents are still buying here, personally. But again, this is if you're looking if you're trying to avoid the hot markets of Townsville, Gladstone, if you're looking to diversify, and if you're willing to take the tail end of the capital growth in this area, and you have to buy smart in this area as well. Avoid the bad pockets and buy a home well under the suburb medium, so that the bank valuation can help you out for equity in your next property. That's my tips of this area. Oh yeah, one more thing, sorry. One more thing I forgot is that if you're concerned about flooding, these areas, they barely ever flood, because when they built up these areas, they built it up far away enough from the river that so if it does flood or exceeds its limit, it doesn't affect any of the houses. And you can actually see that reflected in the insurance premiums. And you can also go to New South Wales Spatial, or the New South Wales Council planning, and you can see that there is no risk. When you buy in North Albury, just make sure you're not buying in the flight path noises. It can be a bit hard, but it's still possible. Um, okay, so that sums up North Albury as a region. So hopefully that helps you out and gives you options apart from just Bendigo, Victoria, Perth, and thing. And I feel like no one is really talking about North Albury, so there is a great chance for you to get them. And one more thing about this area is that when I did talk to a lot of the property managers and the sales agents, they did advise me that a lot of owner occupiers are buying in this area because it is still incredibly affordable, right? So you should definitely still consider this as a suburb where you can invest in. Don't think you're gonna get. You shouldn't invest in here thinking you're gonna get massive growth. You're getting the tail end of the capital growth of this area, but you're still investing in a very strong, diversified economy, and that is what property investing is all about. It's not about chasing the next Townsville or chasing the next Perth and Armadale. It's about investing in solid economies that are affordable. And if you haven't noticed that is the trick, then you're a bit late to the party. And just think about it. Perth was affordable and had a strong economy, it boomed. Townsville had a strong economy and affordable places, it boomed. Gladstone has questionable economy, but it's still incredibly affordable, so people are willing to take the risk. Just think like that. And then you'll be able to invest in property in an intelligent way. Now, if you don't know, go and subscribe to my newsletter where I go in detail about specific suburbs like Lavington, Albury, where I don't think it's a good one, and I mentioned that in the bottom. Townsville, why buyers agents might be lying to you, the last remaining suburb in Townsville that you should consider, and all of these just to give you the absolute most critical information about specific suburbs that you should know about. And this is completely for free, by the way. And there is one more thing as well. I do have a private paid Discord community. It's literally $20 a month. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to create a free community because I don't think there are plenty of free communities out there. And I don't think the quality of conversation is very high about property investing. And I think they sometimes mislead you down the wrong path. And I have seen that already. The other reason why I created this private community is because recently I have been getting and bombarded with a lot of emails about advice or opinions about certain suburbs. And honestly, I don't have the time to answer all of them for free. So I just want to create a private paid community, very cheap. It's the same as a KFC bucket meal. So if you want to help me out, I can help you out as well. And that's pretty much it. Till next time, and I will see you with the next suburb. Peace out.